So, but what happened 2 weeks ago is carnage! You were coming to the end of the convention and you had a little bit of time to fix up your items that you were creating for the competitions. Um, some people went to the scrap heap to try and get some new bits, other people worked on them for time purposes to get their items finished. But we eventually then moved all the way into a stadium that had been purpose built outside the convention centre for the purpose of displaying your wares and testing, for example, on the range with Thaddeus, and testing them to see their productivity and how they worked. And you guys did particularly well in the build process and the judging. I think Thaddeus didn't win, if I recall correctly. Click Clack won, and so did Spanners, and Reed unfortunately didn't. However, during the final throngs of this competition, you were accosted by a blue-skinned woman who was standing on top of the stadium, who communicated over your comms and was, trying to play with you a little bit until she was shot in the shoulder with a bolt from Click Clack, who was. I feel he's been slowly getting more and more impatient as the weekend has gone on in time. While she continued to try and give you a choice of you can save this one or this one, she was shot again and fell off the back into God knows where. That's when things went a bit south and explosions happened all around the stadium, which didn't actually do any damage. They just scared all the inhabitants that were in there out of the stadium and left more or less just a battlefield for yourselves. There was some fire, there was some fisticuffs, there was some bolts, there was a flying ship that rescued boards and then crashed into a mech, which Lupo was operating as he joined the fray. After the battle, Reed became one with the wreckage as he ran away and hid from the young lady, who you don't know her name just yet. As the end of the battle came up, you were all standing around going, well, what really happened here? And Lupo was brought over to you by Click Clack and I think Thaddeus. Amareth had been rescued, Beige had been rescued, but was still in the claw of the truck bed thing that was going across the battlefield, and Bort was safely with Click Clack. As you were, what's really gone on here? Taking time to relax. A load of security forces sweep into the arena. They stand around you, surround you, and tell you, hands up. And we pick up immediately there.
Thaddeus raises one hand because he only has one hand. Because he detached his machete arm and threw it to cut the rope that Amareth was hanging from.
Mm-hmm.
So he just raises one hand slowly.
Spanners retracts his fan blade as he raises his hand.
Okay.
Does Reed have hands?
Not really.
He's got the little claw arm.
He'll have his little thing that was out. He'll just he'll just retract everything back into his tin can.
Okay. And we'll,
So suck in your rockets.
Maybe he just puts out all of his tools at the same time, in different ways. And I'm assuming Click Clack puts down his rifle thing.
He slings it and says, constabulary.
Okay, no worries. So different group of police separate to go surround each one of you, and while under cover's the wrong word, while being aimed at, one of them will step forward and slowly strip you of your equipment. Spanners, they'll come and take your braces off. They'll take all your things off your belt, anything that could be used equipment or weapon wise, and then they slap some binders on you. Yours are a bit like the pod racing binders, Joe, for that pod racer where the beams cross. Yours are kind of like that, so you've got your arms and bits and pieces. They go over to Reed. They don't actually try and do anything to you, but they slap a bolt on your body, and as that goes onto your body, all of your items retract, and you say ready to comply. Thaddeus, they walk over and do exactly the same to you, And again, in your own voice, you hear ready to comply. These are restraining bolts, so thematically purposed. Basically, you do as you're told, and you have no. You do have 3 thoughts, but you're not allowed to hurt people or do something to hurt somebody. Basically, you've got to do as you're told, just for the purposes of this bit. And Click Clack, they do exactly the same. They come over to you, take off anything that's weapons, equipment, blah 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 blah, and then they slap some binders on you. You see that they put your equipment in sort of trunks. They get them out the side, they put them in trunks, and they put the bits and pieces, and they look at each one of you and go, name.
Banners!
Slaps a sticker on yours. Well, probably not, but yeah.
Read.
Yeah, they do yours, and obviously yours are all inside you, but they just do it anyway.
Professor Thaddeus.
I say Nick says his name because he's eating, and he's probably someone that both. And then what you also see is you see them actually tend to Lupo. If I recall, he was incapacitated. I think his leg might have been shot, but I forget the critical roll that was rolled afterwards. But they tend to his wounds. You can see that he's stable, and then they strap him with binders, strip him of his equipment, and then drag him off. The young blue-skinned woman that was with you, in between you, that you were all looking around, exactly the same thing happens. They come over to them, they stabilise them, slap binders on them, they're unconscious still, strip them of anything that's equipment basis, and put it in a box with question mark, and then you're all marched one by one in a long line towards like a waiting van. No, it's not a van, but it's a waiting speeder truck, and you're sat in separate little cubicles inside this speeder truck.
I don't know whether just OC. I don't know whether to tell them about Thingy and the Claw or not mention it.
Don't worry, they will find those. Don't worry, they'll find Beige. Everyone that's here is all being carted off in some capacity. So Amareth, even though she's tied up, she's still tied up. They've left her. They're carting her off. Beige, and even Bort, who wasn't tied up anymore, is still being dragged off, moaning, saying, "I wasn't doing anything," and he's being dragged off. The only person you don't see being dragged off is the announcer. He seems to have recovered ever so slightly from his, cowardice, as we would call it, and is just sort of like now pretending to be a person of power and authority and saying, "Yes, quite right, take those hooligans away, they destroyed my stadium, look at that." But you do see him eventually say that, "We need you for questioning, thank you very much," and they'll lead him off to a car, separate vehicle. I've just got a little bit of stuff here to read, if that's okay. So while you're in the speeder truck being taken off, you're forcibly placed into the same transport, and a short drive as you deliver to the local security forces headquarters. You're then placed in separate cells in the same cell block with very minimal amenities. You've got a pallet bed and a small bucket or toilet, whatever you want to call it, against the wall, but there's not a great deal in here. You can all see each other from the cells that you're in. Let's say they may be in a hexagon, so you can just sort of see most people. And you're available to talk through the ray shields, including the beaten and bruised Amareth, Bort, and Dr. Beige. Of Lupo and the blue-skin women, you can see no sign at the moment. Why the devil did they arrest us? I was tied up and hanging from a crane, for God's sake.
Good question. Why did they arrest us? We were just defending ourselves. Has Amarith come around?
She's around. She looks very angry, very soured face, like she's just sucked on a lemon, but very, very annoyed.
Amarith, how much of this was your plan?
My plan? Well, I don't remember. I met you guys after we found out about the signal. You did that. I saw you in the cupboard. I threatened you. I went to talk to... What was his name? Oh, I can't remember. Who was the tech guy that ran the place?
Professor Thaddeus repeats his name, which Ross cannot remember.
Illerton Hitch.
That's it. Oh,
So
that's right.
Spanish.
Yeah, Innocent Hitch. I went to speak to him to try and get close to him to get information, and well, I went back to his hotel room, and then I woke up not long hanging up in the rope. So, how much time has passed?
Is she being sincere?
You can do a perception check or something along those lines.
Yeah. How does this work again? I can't remember yet. It's so long. Where are our skills?
What even is an edge of empire?
Exactly. Okay, we will percept things. What difficulty would you like to percept?
You can have average, sir.
Average. Pew pew. Oh, shit. Starting badly.
She appears to be sincere. Could you all roll your destiny
Destinies.
please?
Special rolls. Destiny.
Special roll.
Yes, she appears to be very sincere, and from as far as you can tell, she's very sincere about the way she's explaining the events.
If what you're saying is true, then it has been 3 days.
But that doesn't seem right to me. You came to my hotel room and tried to get me to deal with someone. Namreth sort of looks at him very confused and... I did what? You tried to get someone to come and me to deal with somebody.
Ort, my darling, the adults are talking.
I know,
what
that's
actually
Paige
happened?
that's talking though.
Oh, shit, I meant Beige. Beige, the adults are
And
talking.
I've got all the voices to do.
Sorry. Meant Beige.
Sorry, what did you say for Paige?
Yes, Beige. The adults are talking. What happened is, I believe someone was impersonating Amaris.
Oh. Okay, so they weren't interested in my artifacts. Are you interested in artifacts?
You showed
Amreth?
them. You showed them your artifacts.
Yes, I told Spanner this information. I tried to show her my artifacts, and then turned about and she was gone, and so was my jacket.
Okay, she just took your jacket. She didn't take any of your artifacts.
No,
Because those artifacts,
artifacts.
it's possible, but do those artifacts not technically belong to us? Are those the ones we got on our latest haul?
Oh, no, they were the ones I found in the scrap heap.
Oh, okay.
However,
Artifacts.
yes, I mean, last I saw them, they were at Bort's safe house. That's where I was hiding for. Yes, Spanners. We were hiding at the safe house, but I don't remember much after that evening that Spanners left.
How was your safe house compromised, Walt?
Well, we were having a few. God, I've got a headache. Drinks, and it was me, a Beige, and Sarah was dancing on the pole, and then all of a sudden there was a bright flash, and I got hit round the head, and I woke up on that rope. And the Beige goes, "Yes, that sounds about right."
And Sarah?
Isn't here. She wasn't hanging in the stadium.
I do hope she's okay.
You two said something at the same time. So, yeah. Well,
I was giving you time, Dan, to respond to Richard before I.
I have no idea, I'm afraid. Bright light. I woke up hanging, and then I was saved by Click Clack. Click Clack, that was some wonderful flying in that little device of yours. Was it yours? Yeah, well, maybe we can market that. It was very good. Very, very good.
I think it is a wonderful design, but that's not important right now. What is important is your safe house is not very safe.
Well, turns out right. And then you get, you idiots! Why are you talking about the safe house when we're stuck in here? This is Amaranth, by the way. Her voice has changed. Why are we stuck in here? How are we going to get out of here?
You can't get much safer than a jail cell.
But you're right, but we're all going to get put on the galactic database. If anybody's looking for us, they'll be able to find us.
Not again.
That sounds
Say that
like
again,
a
Andrew.
I said not again.
I mean, that could technically pose a slight problem for us.
Of course it's going to be a problem. He's going to find me.
but he knows where you are.
Who's he? Click Clack?
Your father.
Oh, okay. Well, no, he doesn't. I'm off the grid. He doesn't know where I am.
Click Clack just laughs, but it's not laughter because it's clicks and clacks, but it's laughter.
Out of character, she genuinely believes she's off the grid.
Yeah, she's a fucking idiot.
No, we know, yeah.
Click Clack knows enough about tracking people to know that she's very naive if she thinks that.
Hopefully,
I
the
think-
constabulary will see sense and realise that we were the heroes in this matter.
I hope that we come to that conclusion too. But the biggest concern that I have at the moment is, how did someone know so much about us that they were able to firstly target Bay, secondly even know that we were in some sort of league with Amaranth, who is not really part of our crew, but they knew enough to do all of that and to bait us all out. That's very concerning.
Agreed.
Does anyone recognize the blue-skinned woman?
She said she had. Oh, go on.
No, carry on. You can say this as I was going to just do the doors open, and as you said, does anyone recognise the blue skinned woman? She's dragged through into a cell, so you can see her now, but she's unconscious still.
Wait for the policeman to do whatever he's going to do. Whether he comes across or leaves.
Opens a cell, throws her on. Well, not throw. They place her onto the bed gently because they're good police peoples, and then they close the cell and just leave.
I'd like my phone call, please.
This is an evil stare, and they keep walking.
Worth a try.
She said she had revenge, something with Elon Hitch. So I think she was probably just looking for people at the convention, I would imagine, more than specifically knowing about us. One would assume. Hope.
Yeah.
Can I make a mechanics check to see if I know any exploits that might be able to bring down the ray shield, such as whistling, and I've got no tools, such as whistling a certain frequency that you can make it kind of turn off for a moment. Just an idea. Thought I'd try.
Sure, you can have a formidable check.
Okay.
That's 5 purples with a black, and I think you can get rid of blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell. Right, okay. Yes, you are aware that there is some form of frequency that can disrupt this. Given time, you will be able to build something with maybe the wiring or something in your cell that will allow you to make that tune. But I'm not going to give it to you right now because there's some stuff that needs to be said.
Okay. Just exploring options. Spanish would say to the others, by the way, I think I might know a way that I could get these ray shields down if opportunity called for it.
That is well worth knowing, Spanners. I firmly believe it is well within your capability to achieve that. Just if we do drop the ray shield and we try to leave this area, we are likely to get murdered by the hundreds of constabulary gentlemen who are in this building.
I agree. I'd quite like to get into that cell and give her a piece of my mind, though.
Not just a piece of your mind you can give her. What was I going to say before I had to make that pun? There is no better way to try and prove your innocence than a jailbreak, right?
It is true.
It would be an interesting and fun experiment to murder all of these constabularies. I doubt we'd win, though.
Thaddeus saying that, you hear the door open again, and an officer steps through. He looks like a very young officer, and he says, just to make you aware that you are recorded saying certain things like that, and there is video in this room. So being one of those constabulary members, I don't particularly want to get murdered if you get out, so just to warn you, probably do you a favour that you don't try it.
Thank you for the notice, young man. It's very much a wrong voice. Very much appreciated.
Yes.
Don't worry, we have a great respect for the law. Young man, you are perfectly fine.
It's very good to hear. Here on Anison, we appreciate law-abiding citizens, and you'll have your day in court tomorrow. So don't worry, just to stay here tonight. It is actually lights out in just a moment. So if you just get a good night's rest, I'll bring your breakfast in the morning. I know that you will be oil, and you will be oil, and you'll be things that squirm, which and eggs for you, sir. The spanners I'm pointing out on the camera.
That'll do.
Yes, I would ask her, but I think she's in a bit more trouble than the rest of you. Just one more person to come, and then the lights will go off. Okay, thank you.
Those lights off, and I'll be the one coming to.
Please keep the cell clean. And he'll step out, and the doors will close. And then
I knew we were going to be recorded.
that was me using your threats from over there. And then a few minutes later, you hear the doors open again, and you see Lupo being carried forward on a tray. He's unconscious and looks very injured from your initial view. Well, he was hit with a spaceship type thing, and then he was shot several times. So he doesn't look very good, but he's stable, and he's placed into a cell. And the cell's closed up, and he's unconscious, and the blue skin lady, all the time you're waiting, is all unconscious. And then when those officers leave, the young one steps through and goes, yes, it's lights out now. Thank you. And
Good night, officer.
Good night, prisoner 424. I don't know, just meant numbers. And then he'll hit the light switch and step out, and the doors go.
Where did they put our names?
on your like equipment bins. They put all your equipment into a bin, not a bin, but like a storage bin, and then write your name on the storage bin.
Okay, thank you.
Your personal effects. Do you think we're prisoners 4,200 this week, month, year, or forever?
They probably just randomly assign numbers and then deassign them and reassign them. So I doubt there's any sequential nature to it.
I wonder what numbers you all are.
You are the lucky number 424.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I will stay on alert throughout the night. You guys get some rest. If what are we calling the blue-skinned bitch? That thing. If that thing wakes up, would you like me to alert you so we can try and have a conversation?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll stay on alert then.
Reed's gonna
Sure.
like move over and find a power port. Just like go into charging mode.
God, they definitely won't have those in a prison cell. That's like what Thaddeus Spanners would use to escape. Or maybe they do leave him in there. That's the reason why. I kind of imagine that Spanners is like, right, I need to get that washer off of that toilet, and then I can do this and do that, and prison breaks up. Everybody goes to sleep other than Thaddeus and Reed, who just powers down. So Spanners and Click Like you may recover 1 wound. Thaddeus and Reed you may not. That's because you're a droid and you require repair patches, not natural healing.
Natural healing.
So, in the morning, so nothing happens during the night. Thaddeus and Reed, if you're watching, you see these guys maybe roll over in their cells trying to get comfortable on these really hard stone pallets and beds and all those bits and pieces. And you hear Amareth moaning and a little bit of maybe sobbing because he's pretty sad. Beige is complaining that the noodles better be good in the morning. Bort's just asleep. And in the morning, the lights all flick back on, and the officer walks in and he goes, "Good morning, prisoners. I have your breakfast orders here. If you would kindly please step to the back of your cell, I will deliver them through the shield."
Good morning, young man.
"Good morning. Please step back, prisoner 424. And he sort of pushes on a button on the outside, and it just creates like a small rectangle, and he puts a tray through of like worms. And he's like, "I'm not really sure how you can eat those, but I'm not to judge." And he hands the tray over and pushes
Like
the thing.
spaghetti.
Pardon? He walks over then to Spanners and he says, "Please step back, prisoner 427. And he pushes the button and it opens up, and he puts a tray through of eggs and says, "I hope you like them. I made them myself." And he
Thank
puts
you.
the tray up and closes it up. To Reed and Thaddeus' cells, he walks over and says, "Please step back to the wall." And then he'll put like a can of oil through yours. You don't eat, do you? So he just it's like a lubricant oil. But I will let you recover 1 hit point now for using the oil for breakfast. Then he walks over to Amareth cells and Beige and Bort and passes their trays through with just like standard prison food. He walks over to the cell that Lupo is in. You've watched Lupo going in. Lupo doesn't appear to be moving still. So he goes, "Excuse me. Excuse me." And Lupo sort of just lazily opens his eye. He goes, "Step to the back wall, please, for your breakfast." You see sort of Lupo really stiffly roll off the pallet and just step back towards the wall with his head just against it. Just like not quite awake. And he goes, "Thank you." And he puts a tray through of bits and pieces. As the officer steps to the side, Lupo turns around to come and get the tray, and he sort of looks at you guys and goes, "You were lucky. All of you were lucky." Then he gets his tray, goes to the back corner, and
I will fucking kill you if I see you again, you ugly motherfucker.
"You won't get the chance."
That's big words from a loser.
I don't know how to respond to that as a does. You then hear the officer go over to the next one with the blue skin lady, and he says, Miss, and Miss, could you please step to the back wall so I can pass through your food? And you just hear her go, why did you wake me? She looks straight at him and comes close to this ray shield. He goes, no, ma'am, please step back. I don't want to have to use this button over here. And she goes, what's it going to do to me? And he goes, well, this. And he pushes it, and you see an electric shock go across the cell. She goes, oh, and just falls to the floor. He goes, but I did warn you. Could you go back to the cell, please? And you sort of see her crawl to the back of the cell. She doesn't actually stand back up, and he puts the tray and does it back up and says, thank you for your compliance. And he sort of walks past, and as he walks back, he sort of just winks at you guys and carries on walking out of the thing. And you hear the doors close.
Breakfast, officer.
Sorry?
Thank you for the breakfast, officer.
You're welcome, 44. And he leaves the room.
You! Tell us your name and what you have against us.
You're talking to the blue skin lady.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's about time you find my name. You didn't ask the stadium. You shot first and asked questions later. How boring is that?
Who cares? I don't.
My name is Helena. Helena Yu. Helina. And surname Yew. And I am an Imperial agent. And they're coming here to save me. Don't worry. I'll make sure to tell them that you helped me, of course. That might get you some time off your jail sentence, who knows? But I don't plan on being here very long. Now, I assume you have some questions for me. Don't ask them all at once.
Anna starts walking around his cell, collecting washers, and bits of metal, and some mould from the corner, stuff like that.
Okay. Amareth's going to pipe up. Sorry, Ross, you were going to say something?
I was just going to ask that. Why?
Why what?
Why target us?
I didn't target you.
He killed Elon. She didn't target us.
Yeah, I didn't target you. But you became fun to play with. I found out that you were related to that young pup over there who was not good at my line of work at all. She threw herself at Illithid Hitch, trying to get close to him sexually. She should have known he was all about the androids, not the flesh. Anyway, silly enough, she threw herself at him, and I thought, it's definitely an opportunity to get close to Illithid here, where he was playing along. So, I took her place. She was stuffed in a cupboard with a heavy sedative. And, well, according to the records, she's the murderer.
I take my statement back. I do have a question. What did you use to kill him?
I didn't. She did. You should ask her.
Okay.
Didn't you have some grudge against him, though?
Oh, no. I didn't have a grudge against Little Hitch. Everything was purely business.
So who hired you?
I've already told you who I work for.
Yes, you said you work for the Empire, but isn't this like run by the Empire anyway? And they're secretly taking all of the like winnings and using it
No,
in their own.
So you do know about that. Maybe you're more informed than I thought.
Well, I'm just asking. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why? Why do that? Just help me out here. Why? Well, like, it doesn't make sense. Sounds like you had a good thing going. Now you brought it all down.
I know we're being recorded. I'm not going to give you everything. I'm
Well,
here
that's
at the behest of my employer to perform a task, which was come to the convention and have some fun. I had some fun, I can tell you that. But why I'm in this jail cell, I don't know. It was you who shot first.
I mean, at that point, you had already attacked us several times, and you had captured 3 of our colleagues and tied them up and strung them from the ceiling. Pretty hostile actions, if you ask me.
Lupu pipes up and goes, I didn't attack you, you attacked me! They're the next
Shut your face, you stole my shit.
What? I didn't. Wasn't me. Can't prove it.
Actually, we probably could. Hey, Click Clack, I reckon we could rustle up enough evidence.
Yes, I actually have some evidence anyway.
So it was you who killed my family?
And burnt it all to the ground.
Yep.
So you killed my brother?
No, I did not kill your brother.
You killed my brother,
I did.
And then you've murdered my new family?
No, there were some inconsequential fucktards that tried to attack us.
To be fair, we asked nicely first.
I knew I'd gone for the right people in the stadium. You're monsters. You hear Helena laugh next to laugh. Go, they are, aren't they? Horrible people. They shoot first without asking questions. They leave messes behind them, and they're really horrible to that gentleman over there. And she points to Beige and go, he only wanted to be your friend, and you abandoned him. He's told me all about this. You abandoned him and treat him awfully.
Excuse me, I think you were the one who strung him up, and I was the one who got him down, he says while he's tinkering.
Also, I mean, he's a very lovable fella. He loves a good massage, I'm told. You know, very, can get a bit too handsy, though, during the whole process. Yes, he's not, not my normal cup of tea, but it is what it is. Anyway, you're horrible to him. So why does he want to
Is
travel?
Sarah okay?
Who's Sarah?
Is Sarah okay? What did you do with Sarah?
I am Sarah.
The whole time?
The whole time.
What? Who the hell is Sarah actually then?
Well, when I said I knew her,
Oh, God.
I didn't really know her until I knew her when she came via the call centre. Decent credits, though. Right? They didn't overcharge. And she stayed the whole time, more or less. Other than to go get us some pizza and some booze. Pizza doesn't exist in this universe, but it does now.
But we're going to have to discuss a long line of discount for your discretions.
Well, hold on. I was hiding from that little fucker over there. Because he is a nasty piece of work. And you see Lupo go, who the hell are you? He goes, he's a nasty piece of work that steals people's stuff. Right? And he kills for a little... Oh, hold on a second. He wasn't... Did he go after you?
Twice.
Did you kill him, his friend, and brother?
I can neither confirm nor deny allegations.
I want nothing to do with this anymore. I think I'll be ending most of my business relationships with all of you. Your hard work, other than Reed, he's that one over there is all right. He buys a lot of missiles from me. Oh, probably should say that. After a short while of questioning and things going back and forward and insults being traded, the doors open and in steps the young police officer, the young constabulary officer, and an older gentleman with a cane. He goes, "Stand up!" Oh, sorry, folks. Please present your hands through the ray shield for transport to the court. All of you. And there you'll see that he'll walk around and he'll push the button to make the rectangle, put binders on you. You two were already with I forgot what they're called now. Restraining bolts, so you do as you're instructed. And he gets over it, and then the ray shields go down and everybody gets down and he goes, "Follow me!" Turns on his heel and starts walking back out the room, and the guard goes behind everybody and goes, "Please follow him. I don't want to do this all day. Thank you."
We're following the leader, the leader, the leader.
And you are marched through the constabulary from the holding cells. You can see a lot of security personnel sort of all looking at you, and some aren't happy because this is their hometown, and you guys, of course, were right old scene at the stadium. And they take you all the way through to a waiting room, and they go, "Right, sit down here, please, and you will be called in shortly." You're sitting in front of some really large double doors. Strangely enough about these doors, they're made of wood, and they look like they go inwards rather than Star Wars doors, I guess I was. And there's a couple of guards.
Sir,
Sorry.
my good sir, have you contacted our attorney?
No, because nobody told me they had one. Did you have your phone call while you were there?
I asked for my phone call. Spanner says irate.
Well, do you have an attorney?
We are in fact the heroes from the other day who saved that child on the bridge. You know who that child's father is?
I'm afraid not, sir. We get a lot of those situations happen here on this planet. You know, hazard of living in this environment. So you saved one kid, another one got eaten on the other side of town. It kind of all balances out.
Well, two would have been eaten that night if it weren't for us. So we saved that child, and that child's father is the well-renowned lawyer that Spanners is about to tell you his name.
Mr. Lendigaro! Mr. Lendigaro! Call him right now!
Mr. Lendigaro. Yeah, he has got a young child. I think that's about his fourth one. He lost the other three to the frogs. Yeah, alright, I'll give him a call now. Is this to represent all of you? And he points across everybody from Lupo to Helena.
Not Lupo, not the little one, and not the blue-skinned woman.
Seems a bit unfair, but alright, okay. There he goes off. And...
Alright, they can get their Imperial attorney to represent them.
Oh, yes, I think they're already on the way, if I'm honest with you. And he heads off and makes a phone call, and he comes back and goes, yeah, he does remember you, the Mr. Lendigaro. He does remember, and he will be here presently for your court time, which is in exactly 4 minutes, so he better hurry up.
Well, then you can go first.
No, this is a group trial.
But we're not part of their group. They're not part of our group.
Well, who's part of whose group? Who knows? You're all here together.
I can tell you. No. Okay, fine. Let's go.
I don't make the rules, dear droid. I'm afraid I just enforce them. So after a few more minutes, you actually see the doors open up. And inside you can see a very... Oh, I did this. A very ornate... Just a moment, please. I did some things for you.
1 moment, please.
Yeah, 1 moment, please. I need to quickly do WhatsApp on my phone. House computer. Yep, you got it. Oh, I've already done it. Nice. Do 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 do. Won't be a second. Do 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 do. Come on.
I'm just going to send you a quick picture of my Amazon purchase, Dan.
Oh, that's long and dildo-like.
Green.
Green. Okay, the doors open, and you see something very similar to this. Pow. Done. I sent it on WhatsApp. You see something very similar to that. It's a very kind of futuristic courtroom. You wouldn't believe how many times it tried to get this on AI. Trying to make that artwork. I tried to get it with like sort of intertwining wood and metal, like the city's built up, but it wouldn't do it in the end. That was the best one. So you see a courtroom like this with the chairs at the back, and you've got the along the side. Mine's slightly different. There is a jury already seated in here as well. A few members of the public and crowd. You are taken through and put into individual. Is it called? Docks? Not docks. Yeah, it's the docks, isn't it? You're put into your individual docks. There was one for each of you, and you're all lined up in the docks. And you can see you're facing the jury, and they can see you, and you can see whispering to each other and pointing, and that one, and you can see maybe they were possibly present at this event that happened. After a short space of time, you hear a "All rise for the Honourable Inquisitor," I've forgotten his name, Inquisitor Nambuni. And you see everybody stand up in... Do you want me to spell that, Richard? No. And you see everybody stand up in the room, and this really old gentleman comes in robes, and in his hand he has a gavel, and he goes right up to the centre chair, and he stands up and goes, "Be seated. Thank you for attending this court of law session today. You will respect the court of law and speak only when spoken to, or suffer accordingly. If you want to test this, please press the button in front of you." There's on your panel, you've got like a little button in front of you. You get a shock, click, click. Like a really horrible shock. It doesn't do any damage, but yes, so thank you for testing that. I have the remote back here and it gets stronger. Don't push it again. No, don't do it. Otherwise I'll push my button. You are accused. So the following charges, and once you've heard from your representative, which I don't see, so good luck with that one, we will present your defence, and you may be called upon to provide evidence. The following charges are destruction of property, death and dismemberment, kidnapping, prostitution, looks a beige for that one, and all round causing trouble. Yes. Oh, and theft as well. I have theft here. So, and this one, this list is getting bigger and bigger. I have murder, breaking and entering. You've only been here 3 days. What have you been doing? Right, okay. Is your legal representative due soon?
It's on his way. Marcelin Tagaro.
Shit, it's Michelin. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes, well, we will wait for him exactly 3 minutes, and if he doesn't turn up, off to the pit with a lot of you.
Do we know what the pit is?
No. It's called the pit. Doesn't sound nice. So after you're watching the clock, and you can see the judge is watching the clock. Sorry, the Inquisitor is watching the clock, and he's like, 2 minutes 45 galactic seconds. 2 minutes 46 galactic seconds. Doesn't look good for you, lot, does it? And then all of a sudden the doors bash open and he goes, "I object!" You go, "Yes, thank you, Messelin. You're a bit early for that. Sorry. I'm sorry I'm late. I only got the call 7.5 minutes ago. Had to get right across town. I had the best taxi driver though. His name was Len. Fantastic guy. Yes. What? Can I hear about the charges, please?" And he actually addresses you lot in the stocks. What are the charges? I know you saved my boy, which is great. Thank you very much. But what are you being charged for?
Crime.
Yes, thank you. Very descriptive. What particular charges? I can't help you if you don't... well, that's easy, and that one's okay, and... I have to ask you, did somebody actually murder someone while you were here? I mean, not in a fight, I mean, as in murder.
Do frog people count?
No. They're just indigenous species, and it's okay to kill them if they attack you. But it says here murder, and they have one witness. Did any of you actually murder someone?
She killed Elon Hinch,
Well, how do you know this information? Now you're aiding and abetting.
and now he what?
You're
And
aiding
then
abetting.
he gives them the recording that he took while he was sat in the VIP area
Okay, no worries.
of the entire conversation that he had with her.
You'll have to ask for that because they took all your stuff. But you
They
can
took all our weapons.
No, all of the stuff. I took all the belts, but we
Okay.
can get it as an evidence in the bomb. That's the reason I put it in bin, so we knew we were going for it. No, I'm asking the question. Don't worry about her. I know she's not part of your group. She wasn't there to save my child, but you four were. And what about those three? Are they with you? What about that little one on the end? Is it? No, yes, yeah.
No, not the little one.
Right, okay, that's fine. I'll charge him some fees. So out of you four,
No. Please don't represent them.
what
The little one and the blue skinned girl, do not represent them.
Well, but I need to make money. This is my job. This is somehow helping you. But
yeah, we will reimburse you, but they need to suffer for all the crimes they've committed.
well, that's for the court of law, you see. So I just need to go through this list. Has anybody actually murdered somebody in cold blood while you've been here?
No. What no?
Blue skin lady did.
Yes, I'm not asking about blue skin lady. Did you, Professor Thaddeus, murder anyone while you were here? Cold-blooded
No, not
murder,
murder.
not in a fight. No. Click clack.
No.
Is that the truth? Okay. Read.
Murdered a bottle of oil.
That's fair enough. And Spanners, you definitely didn't murder anyone.
God, no. No, I'm just a mechanic.
He looks at the charges again and just goes, well, let's hope they don't have any witnesses. Your Honour, I think we're ready to proceed. Could you... you do your thing. And the judge sort of just looks at this. Right, let's bring out the first witness. The testament of the case, the people of Anderson versus... Well, what do you call yourselves? Do you have a group name, individual name? Well, I know what your individual names are, but group name? How did you get here? No, I don't want to know the answer to that question. Right, so let's call forward the first character witness, Jean the Basilisk. And you see, Jean the Basilisk comes in through the double doors and she walks up to the stand on the other side and he goes, now, this could possibly be very frightening to you, young lady. I just need you to be very honest about the character of the people that you see here. Could you please testify if you know any of the people currently in the stockades over there? She goes, yes, I do. Oh, Andrew, you're not back?
No, he's frozen. Look at him.
Oh. In fear.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. Don't do it. Do. Andrew, we were just getting to the juicy bit.
Whoa, listen to the Jews. How do I change this silly little... Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. RTC connecting.
It's having issues.
I love how the gonna be right back lingo is a ghost because you're clearly just ghosting people and you're actually PC. Switch that shit on.
Hello?
Hello.
What the fuck? Here he is.
He's back. So what did you hear, Andrew? Did you hear that Jean the Basilisk was called forward as a character witness?
No.
Okay. So
I did now though.
the jury calls forward Jean the Basilisk as their first character witness. And in walks Jean the Basilisk, and she walks very nicely over to the other side where you're standing, into, we're going to call it a stockade. It's not a stockade, it's just a booth. And the judge says, this could be distressing, and I don't want to put in too much pressure, but I just need you to be as honest as possible. Do not lie to the court. Could you tell me if you know any of the people in the lineup over there, out of those 9 people? And she waves and goes, oh, yes, I know Spanners. We went on a date. It was wonderful. We have a lot in common, you see. He's a mechanic, and I like to trade in parts, and we got chatting via email. It was very romantic, and the judge is just looking at it going, I don't need to know that, but I just need to know if you recognise any of the people in that lineup. Oh, okay, yes, well, Spanners, of course. Hi. And yes, I know Bort over there as well. He's a mediocre trader of weaponry, and quantity of goods aren't very good. And he goes, hey! The judge goes, bzzz, and zaps him and goes, do not speak unless you are spoken to. Bort's going, and yes, I also know the little short one on the end. His name is Lupo. He's known to cause trouble at these things, and well, he's maybe not been caught, but he actually goes and steals equipment, and then he tries to sell it back to the traders cheaply. But this year I heard, through the grapevine, not nasty people at all, that he was making some form of mechanical suits. Whether they were for the competition or something else, I don't know. And the judge goes, yes, and he's getting a little bit like, she's droning, like, I just want the information. And he goes, yes, oh, thank you, dear. So you don't know any of the other people here? She goes, oh, no, I don't recognise anyone else. And he goes, okay. Thank you, Jean the Basilisk, which is your official name. You may go. She goes, okay. She walks past me and says, I don't like court yet. And then she leaves, and the judge goes, right, so I can attest to confirmation of your name and your name and your name. So, Bort, are you a 2-bit weapon trader, as she says? And he goes, no, I only sell the quality goods. And he goes, yes, did you take part in any of these murder and death and destruction that's happened here over the last few days? And he goes, no, I've been in my safe house. If you want to know, go get the security tapes. And he goes, excuse me, officer, do we have the security tapes of this safe house? And he goes, no, Judge, I'm afraid we don't know where it is. And Bort goes, I'll take you there myself if you like. I'll get the recordings. And the judge goes, take him with you. I can't stand him anymore. Take him to the safe house, get the recordings, and come straight back. And thank you, Your Honour. Stop talking. And they take Bort out and disappear. He then says, right, so I think maybe we'll call another character reference to see if anyone else recognises any of you, to ascertain whether you did some of these crimes. Can we please have Jim brought in, please? And you see the doors open again, and in walks the barman from the Slums Bar. And he's dragged up to the post. I keep calling it the wrong different thing, the stockade or whatever it's going to be. And the judge goes, I understand this can be distressing, but could you tell us, please, if you recognise any of the people over there? And you can see Lupo going. And the barman Jim goes, yes, Your Honour, I do recognise 3 of the members that are on that stand, although I do not know 2 of them by name. I can testify that the small one on the end is Lupo, and he comes every year to the convention, and he rents my yard out the back. I run a bar, you see, and then I have a breaker's yard at the back. Times are hard. We've got to, do a bit of both. And he rents out the breaker's yard, and well, he did this year too. But it's in complete disarray and ruin now, Your Honour. I don't know how I'm going to make money out of it, because those 2 turned up with some other fella, and then all of a sudden it was on fire, exploding and falling over, and how am I supposed to make a living? But they were there, Your Honour, and I can't tell you their names. And the judge just looks at both of you guys. So, disrupting local business, and he puts that on the bottom of the list of accusations that have been brought forward. Messelin turns around and goes,
Thaddeus just raises his hand.
"Yes, Thaddeus?"
Technically, Your Honor, and I do not mean to be derogatory in any way, so please accept this with humility, with all the humility that it is intended. Technically, he was still paid for all of his work for renting out that backyard. So we didn't actually disrupt any local business. The local business owner was still paid.
Do you have a receipt for this transaction?
I wasn't involved in the transaction, Your Honor.
Well then, who's to say any transaction took place? Jim, did any transaction take place? No, Your Honour. I wasn't given any transactional money. I was by Lupo, who rented the yard. He paid me with his cash. I don't know where that came from, but he paid me with cash.
That's what I was saying. You were paid for Lupo renting the place. So, therefore, when we went in there and helped you clean out some riffraff, you know, you had already been paid, so we didn't interrupt any local business.
But you interrupted my rental business.
No, I didn't, because you'd already been paid.
Well,
You'd
I'm sorry,
already
Your
been
Honour,
paid.
but he has no receipt for this, and I don't know where he's going with it. And Messelin goes, "Shh, Thaddeus, shh. Like, don't worry about this one. This is a simple one to fix, okay? If he hasn't got a receipt and you haven't got a receipt, I don't know, nothing happened, right? Okay, don't panic about that one." And the judge sort of looks at him and goes, "Do you have any questions for this man, Messelin?" He goes, "No, Your Honour, I think this is inconsequential for the crimes. I mean, Billy, look, you've arrested them for..." And he goes, "Messelin, we're not on that point yet." So he goes, "Okay, fine." He goes, "Right, thank you, Jim." And he sends out that person for a character reference. He goes, "Next we're going to bring in a young lady. Now, she's a bit terrified and a bit skittish, so everybody, if you could please be quiet. Now, she's here to see if she can pick someone out who is accused of murder. Now, you're all accused of murder until someone points the finger here. So, please be respectful to this young lady." And you see a young lady that's brought in. She's got a cowl over her head and taken up to the stockade, the wrong one again, up to the box, and pulls her hood off. And the judge says, "Now, don't get too distressed. However, I understand you were present when a murder took place. Is that person here?" And you see her turn around to face everyone. She goes, "He shot him right in the face. The concierge was only doing his job, and he shot him right in the face. Have you not got the security footage of this? I mean, it would show you everything." "No, madam, we can't get the security footage. I'm afraid that it's gone. So maybe they, I don't know. Maybe they got hold of it or somebody. But you think it was that person over there?" And she points straight at Click. "I'm certain of it. I'm certain." Messley goes, "I object, Your Honour. Well, you've got no photographic evidence. You've got anything. Look at her. She's a shaking leaf. Who can prove this?" And you see him get a bit irate, and the judge goes, "Yes, I kind of agree with you on this point, actually. If there's no evidence of the shooting in any way, shape, or form, but you say it was definitely him. It's definitely him, Your Honour." "Yes, well, maybe we'll just make him compensate the family. We'll see. Okay, thank you, my dear. You may leave." And just writes down some more notes about this. And Messley goes, "Now, I asked you very clearly, did any of you murder anyone? And you all said no. Tell me the truth. Did any of you murder anyone in cold blood? Have I got any more witnesses that are going to come up and point the finger at you, Click-Clack?"
It's difficult being an insectoid in a universe of warm bloods.
Oh, that's a good one. We'll use that. We'll use the species card. There we go. Writes down in his notes. Yes. No questions, Your Honour. Thank you. Is any more character witnesses that are available, Your Honour? Yes, just one. And sorry, 2 on the list. We'll bring in the next one, and you see the doors come open. This time they don't come open nicely. They're like they've been kicked from the other side. And you see Dengar walk in with his rifle over his back, and you can see the security guards going, "You can't take, they're in there, mate." And he goes, "Whatever." Walks up to the box. "Your Honour, I'm Dengar, and I know him. And I saw him, and I saw him, and I saw him. He made me the best speeder this side of the galaxy. You want to see it? I've got it out front." No? Right, okay. And the judge just sort of looks flabbergasted at him and goes, "Can you testify to their character?" "Well, Click Clack over there, he's a bounty hunter. Like me, knows the trade, very good. I gave him a heads up of some trouble, and he took it like a gent. He didn't cause any trouble as far as I'm concerned. If any trouble's found him, that's because there's some very bad people around. And Spanner's over there. I've got to go into business with that fella. He makes some very nice equipment. And he's even going to make a gun rack, I think, are you going to make a gun rack for the speeder?" Fantastic. You can't get it in at the minute. I mean, look, it's this big, and he sort of tries to hand it to the judge, and the judge goes, No, I don't want. Who let him with a weapon in this place? And he goes, "Oh, I ain't going to use it." And then he puts it back on his back. Anyway, if those 2 droids are travelling with Spanners, I can testify to their character as well. And Spanners, are those 3 with you? Oh, Bort's not here. Those 2. He points to Amaranth and Beige. No, they're not. I don't know about them, I'm afraid. But all the blue one on the end, all the little short one. Oh, actually, I know it. He's Lupo. He's fucking crazy, mate. Don't fucking trust him with a bag of peanuts. And Lupo goes, "Hey, you what?" He gets zapped by the judge. The judge is like completely like, "I don't know. This is complete protocol." Out of the window. He's like, okay. Well, thank you for your glowing character references. Could you please leave with your big gun?" And he's like, "Master of Ceremonies, could you just ask him?" And anyway, Dan goes, "Thanks for your time, Spanners. See you soon. Click Clack. See you on the hunt. And you 2, make sure you behave yourself, please, with these 2. Well, thank you." And he walks past Messlin and he goes, "Messlin." Messlin just nods back at him as if you sort of know each other. And then the judge goes, "I have no idea what happened there. But anyway, it seems he's clarified some form of character reference for you. So maybe some of these charges could go out the window. This isn't going very. It's a very bad day." Right, let's bring in the last witness who says he knows at least 2 of these people in the stand. And you hear the door open for someone to come in, and he goes, "Yeah, it was amazing. We had a great time. Oh, sorry, Your Honour. Yes, I'm Len." And he calls from across the room. He's not walked over to the box yet. And the judge goes, "Yes, thank you, Len. Could you come forward to the box?" He goes, "Right, gents, don't worry. I've got your back. Yeah. I've got my blaster in the taxi just in case we need it. Yeah. Your Honour, how are you?" Your Honour goes, "Right, could you please testify?" My throat hurts from all the voices. "Could you please testify if you know any of these people and to maybe their character?" And he goes, "Yeah, I can. Professor Thaddeus is one of the best droids I've ever seen. He is an artist with that flamethrower from his mouth. And Click Clack, he stand-up guy. You know what, I was having a bit of a bad day in the war games. I got shot at early, and they let me go and help them with the job, you see, and we cleared out some of those, well, some of them over there, ruffians who wouldn't give back some loot." And the judge looks at him and goes, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Yeah, well, I helped out." And he goes, "Well, Len, there was destruction of property. That's one of the charges." And he goes, "Right, he goes, Master of Ceremonies, could you please bring another booth up here? It seems we've got another member to be joining this crew." And Len goes, No, wait, I can't get in trouble. The wife will leave me." He goes, "It's too late, Len. In the box." And he goes, "Shoot." And he comes and stands next to you. Yes, Click Clack?
No, I hand my whole.
Oh, okay.
I high five as he goes past.
Don't tell Sheila. Right, well, that character reference didn't go very well in your favour, did it? And
This is an actual.
oh, yes, click clack.
There was another person you could call for a character reference, and he, because Nick doesn't remember the name of the dude that was in the arena with us, who was officiating the judging of our stuff.
We just called him the announcer. We never actually.
Yeah.
A name yet.
He was present during the. He looks at the blue woman. Disturbance of the peace.
Well, yes, I'm afraid that person that you called the announcer has already been sent to the pit earlier this day for fraudulent activity. So, if he could help your case, would you like me to have him brought back? Well, and he calls a guard.
Are the events in the stadium?
Well, I'm not sure he'll be able to. He's a pathological liar. Who can believe what comes out of his mouth? But we'll try. Anyway, guard, go and get that piece of Gundark poo. Anyway, he goes off and gets him. He goes that way. Right, so I'm going to call forward to the stand. Helena, I believe, is the name of that blue-skinned woman over there. Fuck's sake. Sorry. Yes, Helena, could you please come forward? And he pushes a button so she can get her stand. Whatever. Fucking messages. And then she walks out and she sort of gives you a bit of a smirk and a side eye as she walks up to the box. He goes, "Hi, Your Honour. How are you?" And he looks down and goes, "I'm a bit perplexed about this case, and now I know who your employer is because you've put it here in your interview, which, why weren't those four interviewed?" And everyone sort of looks a bit sheepishly. Never mind, this case seems to be going all over the place. Right, Helena, I know who your employer is and I am aware that they are on their way. However, your actions here are not good. Why would you randomly attack this group of people? Right? We have evidence that something has happened, and we know that you attacked them because we found your about to be rotting corpse on the floor in the stadium. Now, I don't believe that these people here have actually done that to you, but let's ask a few questions. First question is, who shot first? And she just points straight at Click Clack. He did. I was talking to them from the top of the stadium, which I was quite precarious. I probably shouldn't have been up there, but all of a sudden I was shot by was it a blaster bolt or is it a blaster bolt? Blaster bolt. And then when I tried to talk to them a bit further, I got shot with another one. Like, I don't understand. This aggression was completely unnecessary. And well, it you can see the battlefield, right? You know, and what happened, and the wreckage, and I mean, look what they did. They left a complete destruction of a scrapyard. I mean, if you look at your evidence, you'll be able to see. So I pushed a button fast enough. Also, pushed the button fast enough, then you'll go send. See, look at this utter destruction that they'd left. You know, in the scrap heap. Look at it, it's burning. This thing's falling over. Even that droid was astounded. That's in the middle, looking at it. That's one of my evidence that I've managed to provide. The second part of evidence that I've got against these people, who clearly did some bad this holiday, is they took an unlicensed taxi, right? That gentleman in the end there, he's not even a real taxi driver. He's whatever you pay him to be. I mean, look, here's a picture of his taxi cab flying through a restricted area. Who knew? Sorry, Richard, won't be a second. I'm monologuing. Who knew he could get away with that in this city? And then goes, no, love, no. How do you? No, I don't think you're right there. Go on, Richard.
Excuse me, Your Honour. Perhaps my compatriot here did shoot first, but I think if you look at that footage, you'll also see that criminal over there had strung up an assortment of innocent and not so innocent fellows from the rafters of the building. And I think that certainly warrants a shot to try and rescue these innocent people who had been kidnapped. I think we were just trying to help out the local law enforcement to deal with this issue.
Help out? Help out? Have you seen the destruction that you left inside that stadium?
She set the grenades off. Blasters don't create that sort of damage.
Well, we have no evidence, but look at the destruction that you left in that stadium.
Your Honor, if I may, those explosions that went off in the stadium, they were preset by her. I question the integrity of anyone who lures people into that situation with their compatriots strung up and has a whole bunch of explosions set up and rigged to blow around the entire stadium.
And you have evidence of this, do you, Thaddeus?
Well, we certainly didn't do it. We have no way we could possibly get our hands on that much explosive material. Reed, were you going to say something?
We're just gonna just like show like hologram like a few key moments of what what she was doing up the top there, hanging people upside down and the likes, as our evidence. If I don't know if I need to roll for that. But...
Well, you say you didn't have enough destructive power on you to create those explosions. However, your droid friend here, designation R33D, has an internal rocket launcher, and there is enough explosives in those rockets in order to create the same blast damage that you did. So who's to say that you didn't do this and they're trying to frame this young lady?
Please, Your Honor, I urge you to have your investigators go and look. Those were preset charges, and there was a detonation that was triggered by a remote that I'm pretty sure she was holding in her hand and pressed the button. Reed, can you please show a clip of that?
Shows the clip.
Oh,
and you see the explosions go off in the background. I'll spend a lot of points on this one. I don't mind.
Okay.
Reed's
Beautiful
little
blue, because it's all going to be blue, but you can see the blue light flashing.
Yes, well, that may be the case, but we have other evidence against you that you did destruction of property. Who said that you couldn't have taken the explosives from this droid that you completely dismembered inside a storage unit that wasn't yours? Can you answer to that?
What?
Destruction of property?
I am a droid. I am not property. I would like you to please rescind that remark. It is offensive to all droid kind.
Are you telling me that you don't have an ownership slip?
I am my own owner, just like every other living sentient creature.
Messlin, I would suggest you explain to him that he actually requires to have some form of master, otherwise he's a rogue droid, and that doesn't go well in this system. And Messlin goes,
Master.
Shh. Well, most droids are registered to somewhere, right? So they're registered to either owners or keepers, like I guess like cars. And so, this particular droid that you destroyed had an owner who was presented charges. That's what that picture's for. Anyway, took me a long time to get that one sorted. And the final evidence that we have here is this. Now, one of you here is accused of the murder of Innocent Hitch, and this was found at the scene. Now, that young lady who hasn't said very much goes by the name of Amareth. Amareth Laroon, I believe. And he sort of double takes the name. She's accused of murder of Innocent Hitch, from poisoning, from this particular vial that was found at the scene. It's got her fingerprints on it. And she was seen entering and exiting his premises. Now, I understand that you shot first and you've had a fight with this person, but I don't understand your connection to this young lady. May you explain?
We don't really have a connection with her as such. However, this reprobate has been impersonating us all with a personal projector. She tried to impersonate me, but I put a stop to the scan. And then he'll tell what's his face to play the recording from the VIP area where she admits to setting people up.
So the guard will go over and collect your bucket and go through your equipment and pull out this recording and play it to the courtroom. And you can hear the jury murmuring, going, "Oh, maybe she did do it. Or maybe it's fake. It could be fake. Yeah, it could be really fake. Anyway, yeah, well." And Helena just looks at it and goes, "Well, that wasn't me talking. Sounds like Amareth to me. Maybe we should put up the security footage." "Yes, Spanners." She says it, not him.
Excuse me, Your Honour. Search her equipment box, and you'll most likely find a not a cloaking device, an impersonation device.
That's a polyfield projector.
That's the one. Thank you.
So he sends the guard over to her case and pulls out just this absolutely wrecked, like, synth suit. It's the only way to do it. It's like a skin tight. So it's just completely torn to shreds from your battle, with your beaten up and bits and pieces, completely torn to shreds. And she goes, "Well, that's just synth armor. There can't be anything else." And the judge looks and goes, "Do we have any technical people in the jury that can look at this and ascertain to its..." "No, Spanners. You're going to behave yourself moving forward. Stop waving your arm around. You may be a mechanic, but you're not having this." and he goes, "Right, let's send it off to forensics," and they take it off out into a section to look at it.
Spanners gestures to Messalin, saying, "Object.
And I object. What am I objecting against? Oh, my defendant wants to view the equipment." And the judge goes, "But who says he's not going to manipulate it?"
I won't touch it. I just need to look at it."
"This is a weird day. Guard, bring that back, please, and just present it on this table." And they kind of put it just out of reach, so you can see it, but just not in reach.
But I mean, do you want me to roll for it? I'm imagining that Spanners could say something like, "If you look closely between the fibers, you will see a small holographic projection
Matrix.
matrices, or similar." He's going to describe how one could determine what it is, and say, "Also, there should be a chip. If you look in the collar, there'll be a chip, and on that you'll be able to. One of your experts will be able to find the file containing Amareth's visage."
Excellent description.
And beige.
and Dr. Beige over there.
So the guard comes forward, and after the judge says, "Go and have a look and see if you can pull out this chip or whatever." I'm going to flip a dark side point. As he goes to pull out the chip, he's not mechanically trained. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, there is something." "Oh, no, sir, it was broken.
Oh, you fool!
Nothing there. No, don't call my thing a fool." Yes, well, clearly we can't prove whatever you're saying here, and to me it must then obviously be armour, like you're all wearing armour. So, right. Has anybody got any further evidence before I start looking at passing judgment on you?
Does the jury not pass the judgment and the...
They will, but I will present the charges against you.
I would just propose one thing, Your Honor. Could you please take a blood test of Amareth? I can guarantee you will find trace amounts of a sedative that was used to knock her unconscious for 3 days. For 3 days she was unconscious while this woman taking her place. And if you analyze her blood and her body and her respiration and all of that stuff, you will notice that it has been decreased. And there will be evidence of this.
It's a very fair point there, Thaddeus, and Very suspicious you would ask for such a thing. So, yes, guard, let's have that done, and while we're doing that, we'll mull over the evidence against these.
Can we have a medical professional do that rather than an inept guard?
You're not in a position to ask for many things here, and I'm allowing some of them. When he's saying it, you see the guard walk over very roughly, because she's accused of murder, very roughly put in a device, pull out the blood, and goes off into their back room. I haven't heard from Dr. Lemet Beige. Can I speak to you? And Beige sort of stands there and goes, yes, Your Honor. I've never been in this setting before, but I didn't murder anybody. I just came here. I was half abandoned by... I've got the wrong voice. I was half abandoned by my so-called friends. I had to get my own hotel room, and I was bitten, and... Well, I had a really good time with Sarah, and so far I found out that Sarah wasn't Sarah. So, but no, she said in the cells that she was Sarah. And I'm really confused because, well, the lady I had sex with wasn't her.
Dr. Beige, they don't need to know that, but you've just made a very good point. check the footage from the cells, Your Honor.
Don't interrupt me, I've got plenty more. Your Honor, I object to his comments. So you would just say, "Oh, you do that," but he keeps talking. He keeps saying more information. And he goes, "I was bitten by a dog, and I didn't have sex with that woman, but I had sex with the it's awfully confusing. And the noodles were awful here. They're not as good as mine. And have you got my artifacts, Your Honor? I got them from the scrap heap, but I didn't get to enter into the competition. I could have won. All in all, this weekend has not been very good. And Spanners, did you say something?"
I said you made a good point.
Well, thank you. I feel helpful at last. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't have sex with that woman. I had sex with another woman.
Point.
But maybe the footage will help. Abort! He's got to get his footage, isn't he? Yes, maybe that will help us. Oh, hi, Thaddeus.
Dr. Beige, just remember that we paid for your hotel room and you sprung for the express packages that allowed you to have like an endless night of pleasure. So when you say we were half abandoned, it was just a prank.
The judge looks at Thaddeus and goes, Thaddeus, are you now saying that Dr. Beige, who wasn't part of your group not long ago at the beginning of this trial, is now part of your group? Or is this some form of payment for services rendered, that he's come here to do some deed for you on your behalf and you've paid for his hotel room? Because I'm awfully confused and it sounds very suspicious.
He's a contractor.
Yeah. He works with us.
So you do know him and he is part of your group?
He's not part of our group.
He traveled with us to this convention.
So he was given transport, he's a contractor, and he's not part of your group. Well, that's normally the channels that... I'm using the wrong voice again. There's normally the channels that assassins use, is that right?
He's part of our group.
There is nothing...
So you lied at the beginning of this trial when you were...
I didn't lie. I never once said that he was not part of our group.
Well,
we didn't say we didn't know him either.
That's possibly true. Messlin, get your side of the bench under control. Messlin just goes, look, gents, I had no time to prepare for this, and you're all saying different things that don't tally up. I mean, Reed, great footage that you presented, fantastic footage, but there's a few sticking points. Now, is he part of the group? Is he not a part of the group? I don't mind if it's a 5 kind of defence. I don't care. Now, you're not going to tell me in 3 minutes' time that the girl's part of the group, are you?
She is part of the group. She's always been part of the group.
But I asked a few minutes ago.
I told you, no. At the beginning, I said to you, do not defend Lupo and the blue-skinned lady. Everyone else is part of it.
Right, okay. Well, you weren't clear back then, Thaddeus, but you are clear now, right?
It's
So Amaranth is
daylight.
okay. Look, I'm gonna have to go talk to her because she's the one accused of murder, and possibly Gecko.
Very specifically, there are 4 of us and some additional contractors or whatever you want to call them. There are 4 of us as a group and some aides, helpers, add-ons, contractors, hires. They are
Acquaintances.
acquaintances.
So there's more than 6. Well, what about this guy, Len, on the end? Is he part of the group now?
He was a taxi driver.
Well, is he part of the defence or not?
Yeah, let's add him in.
We're down to 7 now. It's gone from 4 to 7. You got to stop telling me non-truth data. I can't defend you
I
like
told
this.
you the 6 from the beginning, and Len was a wild card because we didn't even know he was going to be included.
I think that restraining bolt is messing with your numbers.
Yes.
Right, okay. Now, I have some questions for all of you. Your Honour, I'm just going to confer with my side of the bench. She's not part of my side, so you can do what you wish with her. And nor's the short one. Lupo looks very calm, by the way. And he's standing in his box and just looking very nonchalant about the whole situation. Right, so, I'm asking all 7 of you now, did any of you commit any form of murder while you were here? Well, we shot a load of those little ones over there. No, Len. I mean murder. Did you have a fight? Yeah. The war games were great. No, not the war games. Did you shoot a load of those? I'm being specious now, I'm sorry. Did you shoot a load of those alien species of alien that you found at the scrap heap? Yeah. Okay. Was it in self-defense?
Yes,
Who shot first?
they did. 100%.
Okay. Yes. Gives him a wink. Messenger goes, no, Len, don't wink after you say that. Right, got ya. No, Len, don't wink after you say that. Yeah, I'm just a taxi driver.
Wink.
Right, okay. Yeah, don't say it either. Right, okay. Right, Len, just keep quiet. Don't say anything. Yeah, don't tell my wife. No, we're not going to tell your wife. Just, oh my gosh, what a day, what a day, what a day. Right, now, did anybody break and enter anything?
Between you and me, are they recording this?
No, this is our side of the bench. We can talk.
Everyone.
Okay. We did.
Yes. And did you destroy the droid they presented in that picture?
It attacked us first. It was self-defense.
Okay, right. Self-defense again.
So
we've got 2
we
counts of
broke in
self-defense.
and it punched us. And so we killed it.
That seems quite excessive for just a punch. Did it hurt anybody? Did it
It-
hit anybody?
Yes, it attacked first.
No. Did it hit? Did it connect?
How does it matter? If something attacks you, you don't give it a second chance to kill
You
you.
didn't know.
Like,
It could've
first
been
one's a
behind the
punch,
door.
second one, it could have shot us with a freaking rocket launcher. Who knows? It could have whipped out a lightsaber and chopped our nuts off.
No,
We don't know.
Shh, don't
By nuts,
mention
I
those
mean, you know,
wild
bolts,
wizards'
you know.
weapons. Don't say that in the courtroom. I don't hear lightsaber in here. Shh, don't say that. Right, okay. So you did destroy
It was the
robot.
it was the most fantastical weapon I could think of.
I think we might need to shut him down. All right, so you did break and enter. That's fine. Well, that's minimal charges. You didn't murder anyone in cold blood, correct? Definitely wasn't you. It was another insect, correct? I don't mean that in species. They click like it was another one, right?
There was no cold-blooded murder.
Okay, good to confirm that. Now, did any of you handle heavy weaponry during your time here? I mean, explosives, mines, rocket launchers, anything of those kind? Oh. Right.
Only when I saved your son.
Well, yeah. Oh, yes. That's fine. Don't worry about that. We'll sort that. Thaddeus, what did you do?
Well, the weapon I built in the competition was definitely a heavy weapon.
That's okay. It's competition stuff. Now, did anybody hold any detonators or watch any locations with heavy mines or something along their way?
Yes, that was my other mine. Yes.
You've had more than one. Have you
Yes.
any left? Now, did you
yes.
physically operate this spanners, or was it operated by somebody else?
Reed may have held the detonator, but that was only in our own lockup.
No arms,
It
not holding.
wasn't activated.
See? Rockets
you
also
didn't.
launched. No hands,
Now,
no handling.
right, Reed. I have some questions for you. Do you have on your possession any more rockets? You fired all your rockets in the last
I
combat.
fired all my rockets, yeah.
Right, okay. Now, can I ask you, was the rocket launcher an aftermarket part?
Indeed.
Now, was this done officially or black market?
Ah, friend did it.
Okay, right. You were under the influence of some oil. Right, okay, got that. Now, did any of you here build, for the competition, any form of device that could be led to deceive anyone in the courtroom?
Yes.
Read, you're 3 for 3. A rocket launcher, holding a mine, and now making something to deceive the courtroom. Right, okay. Now, Reed, I need you to do this very carefully. Do you have a recording of you manipulating your voice or something like that?
I record everything.
Okay, right. We cannot rely on Reed, okay, for any of this. He's going to throw us more under the bus than that Dr. Beige. And Dr. Beige goes, hey! Right, okay. A few more questions. Breaking and entering, not a problem. Saving my son, thank you. Murder, cold-blooded murder, none. Accused of poisoning, you. What was your name again? And she goes, Amareth. And he goes, no, your last name. The judge said. Laroon. I don't know if I can represent her.
God,
Your noise
I
cancel.
whispered, sorry.
Your noise
I
cancelling.
can represent her.
I used to be the head of security for Mr. Laroon himself. I still serve to protect his daughter. So I would, but surely Amarith wouldn't go by that surname.
No, but they've managed to get a file on her, like they've got files on you for the court purposes.
Yeah, she's not related to that crime family at all.
Okay.
He is a bastard child, a cast off.
Okay. Well, I think I can get you off some of these charges, but you're going to have to pay something. Not to me, I mean to the court. I'll give you my bill afterwards. Don't worry, be heavily discounted for the saving of...
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, discounted. Don't worry. But there is 7 of you. Now, before we go any further, is there more than 7? Sure. Okay, great. Your Honour, these 7 are innocent. None of them committed murder on Anderson soil, and I have the evidence for you. And just then you hear Bork come through the door. I'm back! I've got me videos! And he comes back in with the files, and the court go, oh, here we go. Right, everybody take your places and wait for these. And they put them up on the screen, and Bork goes, so here's my safe house. The reason I have a safe house when I come to planets is because occasionally you upset some buyers, right? So you kind of have to make yourself scarce and just good for business. So I was contacted by Spanners, who asked me to hide Dr. Beige, and we had a great time, me and him. Yeah, we did. We had the young girl come and join us called Sarah. I haven't seen her since we've been here. I don't know if she's a witness to where we are. And you just sort of see Helena sort of roll her eyes at your stupidity. And he goes, this is the night, right? So me and Beige were going right on it. Look, we were on those Sundance cocktails over there. And then all of a sudden, a big flash. You see the camera, like big flare, flash of the flare. And then you just see those two on the ground. And then you see Helena. And then she's tying them up and dragging them out. So look, I'm innocent. I wasn't doing anything. I was just drunk and hiding. And the judge looks at me and goes, I'm not interested in your business deals or whatever you're doing, but you can leave. You're dismissed from this court. And he see a big cross through his sheet, and he goes, thank you, and thank you to you lot. We'll be disappearing now. And Beige, take it easy. And Beige goes, Your Honour, can I ask a question? He puts his hand up. He goes, can I go now? You've proven that I wasn't involved in anything. And the judge goes, I honestly haven't got the energy to deal with you either. Yes, you're dismissed. And he crosses out his name and disappear. Right, we're down to 6. That's good, right? We've got a good start, right? I mean, I wasn't representing Bort anyway, but he's gone, and now we've got Dr. Beige out. And right, who's next? Your Honour, I believe Len is not sound of mind. He is just having a good time, and I believe that he's been slightly misled, but I do not feel that he is going to cause harm, and he is a good standing member of this community. And he says, look, he's filed all his tax reports on time, he's paid his taxes, he contributes towards this city. And the judge just goes, yeah, Len, you've confessed to shooting some people, but it was in self-defence, right? And then he goes, yeah. To the judge, and he goes, I can't even process that. Len, dismissed. And he just dismisses him at the court, and then he goes, right, thanks guys, I'll see you later. Right, I'll keep the engine. Yeah, I'll get the engine running. We'll go for drinks or whatever. Maybe we'll find some more of those guys. And get out, Len. He kicks him out of the courtroom. He goes, basically goes, right, okay, that's one down. Right, Your Honour, I also now believe I'm going to work on the case of Reed. Reed is this astromech droid here, and he has shown us various recordings of what has happened over this course of his, well, I'd call it a wake time. I mean, there's a large portion of video where he is holding a forbidden weapon on this planet. However, I would argue that the same type of weapon actually saved my son from being swallowed and was applicated by Spanners here, who wasn't aware of our local laws not to carry anti-personnel mines on the planet, which he will be reprimanded for and will receive some form of financial penalty from Your Honour, not from me. But I believe that Reed is a very upstanding member of this team, this crew, dare I say, and I believe that he is innocent in any of these accusations here. And the judge looks at it and goes, yeah, I saw the footage of him holding that mine. There was a long time, nothing moved for quite a while in that room. I believe that I could possibly dismiss Reed. However, I must insist that any rockets that he may have left be left at the front desk and not to be returned while he's on Anderson. And the judge addresses you, Reed.
He's gonna like pop out his rocket launcher and just let the last shelf fall out and just show like an empty bit and then like put it back in.
See everybody do this. I said the front desk. And you see a guy pick it up and go, okay. Right, Reed, you are dismissed. And they disable the restraining bolt that's on you and send you to wait by the front door because we're no good leaving the room. Okay, so I'm going to move now on to Professor Thaddeus. Professor Thaddeus has shown courage, ingenuity, and I think a little bit of recklessness, maybe. However, he's also shown a deep caring for his friends in this matter, or his crew, shall we say. He attended a scrapyard knowing that he could actively be hurt seeking down equipment that had been stolen from their lockup during this competition. Yes, he may have cindered some assailants that were trying to attack him, but he did it in the defence of his friend, Len the taxi driver, who has left the record room on no charges, and his friend Click Clack, who also was, I believe, injured during that battle. Isn't that right, Click Clack? Yes, yeah, you can still see the slight damage on his body from here.
Heavily, actually.
Yes, he was heavily injured during that I was going to say interaction, but that's the wrong word. That interaction, gunfight, whatever you want to call it, at the OK Corral. And I believe that on that basis, he doesn't pose a threat to the citizens of Addison. So I think we should waiver all charges and let him go. And the judge looks at it and goes, you make a good case. At the moment, out of all of these charges, the 2 murder ones are the ones I'm very concerned about. Right, Thaddeus, you are to pay a fine for the damage of the scrapyard that you caused of 200 credits. Dismissed.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
And they take off the restraining bolt so you can move on your own accord. And they send you to the back of the courtroom where someone stands there with to give you a receipt for 200 credits. Whatever it's called.
As soon as they take off the bolt, I'm going to flame the judge. Just kidding.
I thought you might do something like that. All the while he's doing this spiel about each of you individually, Lupo still hasn't really been addressed. From your thoughts, he's trying to remain small and out the way, as if he's will just get kind of missed in this whole thing. But he's not worried. Doesn't look worried at all. He looks very calm and collect. Right, on to my honourable friend Click Clack here, who is still suffering from injuries sustained during these engagements that he's had. I don't blame him for shooting first. He'd been to a scrap pile to try and recover some stolen goods, and he'd been shot. Well, that would make anyone a bit angry, wouldn't it? You, John, Your Honour, you've never been shot. Yes, understood, nor have I, so I guess that's kind of not the point. But the point is, if I was shot, I'd be very angry. Very, very angry. So I don't blame him for shooting this blue-skinned Helena, whatever her name is, first, especially now I know who she works for. Oh, that was...
And she was monologuing evil plans which were against the law of this place. One had to take the law to secure the safety of citizens. As an honourable bounty hunter, I could not stand by idly while innocents were put to harm. It's the wrong voice. Fuck it. Whatever.
The judge sort of looks at you and says, well, Click Clack, I understand the meaning behind this. However, it's not against the law to monologue on Ellison. However, it is against the law to intentionally try and hurt people. And you maybe did do the right thing by shooting first and asking questions later.
I can't remember what the correct word is. All I can think of coercion. But when you kidnap someone and then try to not blackmail, because that's for money, but their life. No, that is
Barter?
No, when you're I get ransom. Ransom's the word I'm looking for. Ransom them. That is illegal. No, sorry, I've done no voice either. It's all gone. I've fallen apart.
So Messelin continues. He goes, yes, exactly that. Click Clack has provided some of the local Anderson law, so he knows his planet, and I therefore believe that, yes, he may have shot some people, and they may have shot him, and he may have shot first, and they may have caused some damage to the stadium, and I believe that that's a collective situation. But all in all, we've heard from the character references, and I think that he is a good insect person. I fucked up there as the person. I don't know what to adjust that to. But I think his intentions were good. However, he has been accused of murder and pointed out. We cannot find the footage. So I'm going to suggest that maybe some compensation be given and on that basis, he be wiped of all charges, but showing his willingness to give something back to the community. And the judge looks at it and goes, well, there is no real evidence against him other than that lady's word. So, I accept 400 credits being paid to the local family, and he may go. Oh, and a heartfelt apology. Of some description. It can be a handwritten note or an email, that's fine. And after the judge says that, he goes, oh, thank you, Judge, you're right, I click, get out of the booth, Just go to the back, sit in there, and they'll give you a receipt.
Thank you, Your Honour.
And then you get put next to Thaddeus, and over comes a person with it's not a receipt, you've got to pay 400 credits, or whatever. Sorry. So, Spanners next. Spanners, what is there not to say about Spanners? He came to this planet to a convention of his artwork, and he fell in love. He met someone. Someone like that couldn't be accused of crimes such as his. He's not going to be causing trouble on a planet where he's found love. So, Your Honour, yes, he may have been present at such things, and yes, he may have had a fight with this Imperial over there, and you hear the judge say, careful, Messalin. Very clearly he's trying to get his opinion of the Imperials and how he feels about them. But all in all, Spanners is an upright standing member of the society. He creates things of beauty. He has a beautiful soul, and now I believe he has a beautiful girlfriend. Who knows? I do not believe that any charges wrought against him should be seen to fulfilment, especially not any time in the pit. He may even, Your Honour, be able to craft you something of beauty yourself. The judge looks at it and goes, you're right. Now, I'm going to be giving him a fine because he did bring illegal weaponry onto this planet. Unknowingly, but he did bring illegal weaponry onto this planet. There's a fine of 300 credits to be paid, and I'm going to put a galactic ban on him from buying explosives in the future. Won't make a difference.
What?
Messalin
That was
turns
that
and
was
goes,
you joking,
Yes,
was
you're
it?
authority for that.
there's nothing, alright, it's too much joking. Messalin goes, thank you, Your Honour. Yeah, take it, Spanners, get out of the booth. Quick.
He goes and
Sits back,
pays the money.
and then the admin comes over to you and hands you a little slip to say that you've got to pay 300 credits. And I think that's everybody, isn't it, Your Honour? Your Honour looks at Amarith and goes, no, Messalin, you seem to have forgotten one of your charges. And he turns around and goes, oh, yes. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure she was part of the group at first. It was awfully confusing on this side of the bench. Anyway, now, the evidence against this young lady seems to be piling up. Has been seen going into the VIP area. She's been seen to have found evidence at the murder scene of a vial of poison. This poison was a slow-acting poison, so she could have saved his life at any point if she tried. The blood results haven't come back yet, but we haven't got time to wait for those blood results, I don't think. We might have just to proceed without them. But all in all, I don't think this young lady is showing remorse. Like, she has got a really salty face on, really grumpy. And I don't think she's showing any form of remorse of what's happened, or any form of evidence that she wasn't there. And therefore, I think maybe just some time in the pit, maybe on the cards here, Judge. And the judge nods and goes, yes, well, murder was taking place on Edison, and of such a figure that created such a thing. I mean, some of the items that were made out there of beauty. Amarith, how do you plead against the murder of Illithon Hitch? And she just looks up and goes, not guilty. He goes, right, well,
Are we close enough to hear this shit?
You're in the room still.
So we haven't been properly dismissed yet.
No, you're just at the back of the room. They put you on a bench. And she goes, not guilty, but why should I do crime for something I didn't do? Well, I haven't got any evidence because I was asleep the whole time other than first meeting Ethan Hitch. I admit to that. And I did, yes, try and get in his pants in order to get close to him, but only to find out why the Imperials were taking all the technology and what Elithan Hitch had done to upset them. And the judge goes, well, this is new information. What had he done to upset the Imperials? So, surely you must know the Imperials were using all the weaponry here and all the items to put their boot heel on the galaxy, and that Elephant had had enough of that, and he was going to give all of the designs to the rebels. Did you not know that, Judge? The judge sort of shifts through the papers and goes, did anybody know of this information? And everybody sort of, you know. Helena goes, for God's sake. Yes, he was going to give it to the rebels. He'd given up with the Empire. And that's why I was sent here. Try and convince him otherwise, to basically come back to the Empire's good graces. No, we hadn't used the weaponry that had been created against planets. That's not what the Empire does. We bring safety and security to the galaxy. The judge sort of looks at her and says, I think you know more to this than you're actually letting on, Helena. And she goes, well, I know my standpoint from the Empire. I don't know why Elithan Hitch. I don't know why she murdered him. And Martha goes, I didn't! She gets really angry. And then there's a knock at the door. And Judge goes, who is this now? It better not be Len coming back. And the doors open, and in steps an Imperial officer, full uniform. Your Honour, I'm here to collect my operative. All charges against her should be dismissed immediately. The judge goes, and who are you? I'm Grand Moff Tellellan. Tellen.
How quickly can you flamethrower?
Unhand her and give her back to me. She will be reprimanded under Imperial law, not Anderson law. And the judge looks at him and goes, well, what are you going to reprimand her under, Grand Moff? You don't know any of the charges. You've just arrived. He goes, we've had all the data files on everything that's transpired here, including the riffraff that you have dismissed. Who's Alison Law? I don't know. Who is it?
I just thought it sounded like a name.
Oh, okay. We'll use it next time. The judge sort of looks really quite baffled, and he said, Grand Moff goes, I have my cruiser in orbit. That's all I need to say. And the judge sort of looks back and forth between the bench and everybody else and goes, yes, I suspect for the greater good I should release her to your custody. Helena, you are dismissed to the custody of your superior. And she just looks at him really cocky and goes, thank you. And she goes to stand next to the Moff. But the Moff isn't like arrested or anything, like stand next to him. She just stands very casually and she goes, Grand Moff? And he goes, let's leave. Looks around at you guys and goes, I think you've caused enough trouble that you've made my radar. Good day. And they leave the room. The judge goes,
As they're leaving, Thaddeus, who is now not subject to the electrocution of the judge anymore, will shout out to her and will shout out to the Grand Moff and just say, just let it be known that she was defeated in battle. She's useless. She's dead.
yeah. Order in the court. And the judge goes, this day is just... these conventions happen and everything goes out the window. It's completely wrong. Anyway, Amarath, without any evidence and now with a key witness disappeared, I have no option to dismiss the charges against you. However, I don't think you should be allowed to freely leave the system. And therefore, I think you should travel with those at the back of the room.
We will gladly take her under our protection and leave the planet immediately.
You see the judge try and push his button. That's where you were sitting for zapping, but you're not there anymore. Right. And is that no, Lupo's still here. He's making himself look really small. Okay, dismissed for Amarath. Right. Is there anybody left? Oh yes. Sorry, young chap. I'm sorry I missed you. You were on the end and then the smallest one. Sorry. So Messlin, is he on your bench? And Messlin goes. No. And Lupo goes, come on, get it over with. Where am I going? And the judge looks and goes, well, have you done any wrong? And he goes, well, I was involved in a scrap with them, and yeah, I stole some stuff, but it don't happen at the convention, does it? And the judge goes, no, it doesn't happen at the convention, does it? Well, looks at the clock. And then Lupo starts monologuing about how his brother was killed by people.
We will happily take good care of him if you wish to escort him out of the system with us as per the lady here.
You see the judge again trying to push the buttons where you used Lupo goes, I'm not going with them. Anyway, I'm only here because, and he rattles off a story about how his brother, who they'd grown up in the orphanage together, where their mothers had both left them, had grown up through poverty, and they struggled in everyday life until they were found by the Bounty Hunters Guild, who took pity on them as apprentices and trained them at a craft, and that they were hired in order to track down some members of... This is a question for afterwards or before?
Just to let you know, while he's ranting, I'm going up to Messlin and whispering in his ear, and I'll tell you what I'm saying when you finish this.
And how they were given a job to go after some members of the surgeon's crew. And as he mentions the name of the surgeon, who is infamous around the galaxy, everyone goes, and they all sort of look in your direction. And that his brother was murdered, brutally murdered, while they were trying to apprehend members of that crew. And he escaped barely with his life. And he moved on, moved out of the profession, moved on with some of his own kind who had also been orphaned, where they were starting to build mechanical devices until one day the terrors come along and destroyed his scrapyard. Anyway, he goes a big old sob story as he comes up to what he's done with his life. All the while he's watching the clock. What were you saying to Messlin?
I was saying, because I know that we don't have the power to speak up really anymore, but Messlin is still a lawyer, so I'm going to be whispering to Messlin, if what you can to get him to go down, he attacked us. Rita's got the footage of him attacking us in a mech suit. He was siding with her. The Empire haven't claimed him. He's not under the Empire's protection. He can go down. He needs to go down.
He can be the example that the judge set so that someone has been punished.
Say that. Yeah.
So Messlin will step forward and say, Your Honour, I have some compelling arguments against this. And he'll say that what you've said to him, basically. And the judge listens and goes, well, I thought you weren't defending this young man or representing this young man. Anyway, he goes, I'm not. I'm just representing my crew and blah, blah, blah. All the while
we're the defendants in this case.
All the while Lupo is watching the clock. He's talking. He's very visibly watching the clock. And eventually the judge goes, right, when I'm ready to pass judgment, and Lupo goes, time's up, judge. Flip over a dark side point. And as he says that, the back wall just goes boom. The blast wave comes through and knocks everybody over. And as people are just starting to recover, you see Lupo climb over the wreckage and say, see you soon, chumps. And he jumps out of the wreckage. But my Lupo. He'll be back at some point. So everything's going off. The alarms are going off. There's dust everywhere. People are climbing out of wreckage and people are coming to help everybody. And Messelin is pulled out from under a chair and he goes, this is a good time to leave. Let's go. And goes to the doors and says, come on, quick. Like, you're all free, but if you stay here, you might have to give evidence against this. Let's go.
I need my box.
As we're leaving. Go ahead.
Just saying, I need my box before we go.
Yeah. So you find your boxes all by the door. All your labeled boxes. Reed, I'm going to say you're going to pick up your boxes or you'll start basically just carry them under your arm and get going. Reed, yours feels remarkably more heavy than you expect it to be. I'll come on to that later.
As we're leaving, I just say to Click Clack, did you get a good look at what those little lean looked like when they were burning?
Like food.
I can't wait to show you what it looks like when I fry that fucker's corpse.
Okay. So we'll need a wee while Nick's quickly disappeared.
Is there much left? Because I would like to get a drink and go to the loo if you've got.
Go ahead. Yeah, I've only got about another 10-15 minutes of, well, maybe not even that, of escaping the planet. That's it.
Oh, okay. Burp.
I now see why you were worried about this, Dan. About juggling all the voices.
I've missed bits as well. It's just, you know.
That's my worst thing is when I over prepare as a DM.
Yeah.
And I don't call it over preparing because I have to be over prepared when I DM. It's just how I am. But then I always miss beats. And then I go back and I look and I was like, oh, I missed this and I missed that, and I hate it. I hate it. So
I had loads
stressful.
of little bits of like things that had happened that I'd put against charges against you, and I've just completely missed them. It's like, and I read off like what you'd been charged against, and then I've completely skipped categories as well.
I think you covered off the most important ones.
I think so. Yeah.
I kind of like the law on this city. Like it's cut loosey goosey. So
Yeah.
we should come back and do more crime. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just doing it as trying to be a bit of a loosey, jokey courtroom. I didn't want it to be too serious, but there was definitely bits that I missed from stuff. I definitely missed some stuff to do with Reed, so I apologise about that. But he did have a section where he was powered down and bits and pieces, so it is what it is. However, you got some goodies, Reed, when we come to opening your box.
Please.
Yeah, goodies.
At least 20 rockets this time.
Well, we'll see. But there's
Reed has
some...
no insides anymore. It's just rockets.
Yeah. We don't even know how he moves anymore. Fairy dust.
No, it's the thrust from the rockets. That's how he moves. He fires off each one to move around.
I want both of those characters to die so badly.
I know.
What's wrong with them, Richard? They're lovely people.
Imperials.
Was it Lupo who shot Remux with the foam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ever since then.
You've just hated him.
I mean, and then he says he was against the surgeon, but he actually came down there trying to kill us. Like when we found out that the surgeon was actually down to dodgy shit. So he was obviously hired by the surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
Or was he? You've not heard much of the surgeon recently, have you?
Yeah, but that was in the surgeon's secret area. So he must have been hired by the surgeon to come down and take us on in that area. Must
He
have.
was.
Dan is expecting us to leave the planet. However, I mean, we could pursue Lupo. He's just blasted off the back of the building. We've just got our equipment. We could technically pursue Lupo. I mean, it might not be a good idea. We'll just end up back in court again, which isn't something I want. But technically, we could pursue Lupo. Just a thought.
You could.
I mean, we absolutely could. I'd be down for a fight. The trouble is, there's an Imperial cruiser hanging about above this planet, and that's the part that scares me. I'd rather jump away as fast as possible. Let's continue. Oh, sorry.
That Imperial cruiser's got the chicken. They're gonna just go now, right? If we just hang around, go for a drink or something.
Could do. Maybe we ask the court for permission to pursue Lupo as vigilante justice bringers.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, he'll have a bounty put on him now, right?
And you're a bounty hunter. So what happens to people who aren't bounty hunters but help bounty hunters? Is that an allowed thing?
We're your contractors.
You tell me.
So, as we're putting on our equipment, as I'm putting my van blades up my sleeves, we're speaking to the guards, saying that. Then are we?
Sure. Let's see if they'll accept it. Oh, but we have to get Amaranth off the planet. That could be a fly in the ointment.
So the courtroom's in disarray. Everything's blown up. Miss Lynn suggested that you leave quickly to get out and get off this planet before things get worse. Clearly it wasn't you that put up the wall, but you never know. So you grab your boxes on the way out the door and you quickly apply all your equipment in the hallway. And Miss Lynn says, let's go. Let's get out of here.
One moment. Guards, we could pursue that fellow on your behalf. My colleague here is a trained bounty hunter. We could apprehend him and return him to your custody or take him down on your behalf.
So a few of the guards are just running past you to go into the room to try and help out. And you see the young guard sort of hears you sort of saying this, you can do that? But I don't have the power to give you jurisdiction. But I mean, Grandpa was on the bench, and I got to see if he's okay. But I'm sure if you do it, he'll be much appreciative. Unless you really got in trouble in there, and then I'd probably leave if I was you. What was the situation? Did you do okay?
We're not in trouble. We had some fines. We're not in trouble. We had some fines and we're free to leave.
Okay, well, your choice then. But I mean, if we catch him first and you're chasing him down, they can't say if you get in trouble. Okay, bye. And he runs into the room to try and save Grandpa.
It's a race then between us and the cops. Who's down?
I'm in.
I'm sorry,
Land.
Jim. Oh, lads, how's it going? That was a bit boring, eh?
Except for the
The little
explosion at the
guy.
end.
You got all your stuff back. Are we going?
We're off.
Off.
We're catching that bastard.
Oh, click clack. You know where it is. Hand it forward. He's referring to his pistol that's behind the back seat. Up in, lads! And he'll take off really, really fast, leaving Amareth and Beige with Messelin on outside the station. So where are you
Right to
going?
the ship, you two.
Who?
Amarith and Beige. Right to the ship, please, you two.
Am I going to be allowed on the ship? He's really upset with you. Am I
Not if you
wanted on
have
the
that
ship?
attitude.
Well, I need to go and get my items from the safe house. So I'm going to do that first.
Can we have them mailed from Port? Can Port mail them to us?
Dr. Page will hail another taxi and he'll head off with Amareth. He'll go get his bits and pieces. So where are we going, lads? Where are we looking for? That little shit that was in there.
Yeah.
So where do we start?
Behind the building.
Right, behind the building. It's like you can see it's all the back is all caved in. There's rubble, and you can see down if you're still in the hover taxi. You can see some people sort of looking at the wreckage and peering out.
We asked one of the people. Where did the little guy go?
We've just come from inside here. We don't know.
I asked another person. Did anybody see where the guy went?
You see a young man go, "Hey, someone ran that way." I mean, the frog jumped out at him and he sort of kicked it in the face and then kept running.
That way, Len.
And Len guns it. And he's like, yeah! Turns it around and starts speeding into the centre of the city. Can I have a perception check, please?
Group perception.
No. Individual. You're all looking at different sides of the car. Taxi.
Okay.
Difficulty?
Hard, please. Yeah, Andrew, if you look it up on the character builder thing, it should be there. It's a defensive item.
Did I just re-roll like somebody else's pool or something?
Don't think so. Okay. Right, so the city. So Len's speeding away from the courthouse. You're in the city. For Spanners and Reed, you are kind of looking backwards. So I imagine you've all taken a direction to look out. Len's driving. You've taken out angles. Back where you guys are looking from, all you can see is a bit of chaos around the police station. Things are moving. People are moving back and forward. You really don't see anything at all. Click Clack and Thaddeus, you're looking out opposite sides of the vehicle, and you do spot what looks like to be movement on either side of the vehicle, not underneath on the walkways, but it looks like lots of people are running in a particular direction. From this high up, you can't tell if any of them are teeny tiny or slightly larger, but they all seem to be heading towards the centre of town.
Does it look like it's just chaos, people running away from an explosion?
Yep.
Okay, so we can't see Lupo. Can we see the frog who got kicked in the face?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Does
He's
anyone
he's sitting
speak
on the floor
frog?
like this.
Okay. We carry on gunning it into town.
So Len speeds the speeder closer towards town. And this time he goes, yeah, let me help, lads. And he flips the car over. So all the glass is on the bottom so you can look through. So you may do another roll with a blue. If you choose.
Odd.
Yeah. No. There he is, Thaddeus. In the crowd, you see a small creature ducking and weaving between people, and as you're going along still, you're like, oh, Len, there he is, and Len sort of turns the car. We're still upside down still, and you see Lupo hop onto the back of a speeder and then just start speeding off towards a direction. But you know, you've been this direction before. He's heading towards the slums. Was that what you were going to ask, Nick?
No, I was going to say as he distanced himself from everyone else, but obviously he has now. I think we should follow him. I was going to say, oh, maybe I should shoot him, but we'll follow him back and just we'll go follow him back and finish off his entire family.
Okay, no worries. So you maybe tell Len to just follow
Len,
him from
tail him.
Yeah.
Subtly.
Higher up, and then you can see him speeding between the trees, and then sort of following him back and forward, and he's like, yeah, who's gonna shoot him? Shoot him now! Come on, do it!
Len.
Yeah.
We're gonna follow him back and get the lot of them.
These bastards. Yeah, they looks like he's going back to the same place. Right, let me park me taxi around the corner because I don't want it stolen like before. We had to cover it up. Just help us out, please, lads. And he parks around the corner. You see Lupo go into the same sort of from high up into the same yard that you two saw earlier, but obviously you two haven't seen just yet. It's like a breaker's yard. There's things that are being dismantled for parts and things. So he parks the cab in an alleyway and goes, just help me pull the sheet over. And he pulls the sheet over the top and puts some cardboard against it like they did last time to make it look like it's Star Wars junk. So it makes it look like it's not a fresh looking taxi. He goes, ready. And that's where we pick it up next week. Because I haven't prepared for a battle.
I just
And we phone the constabulary and tell them that we've found him and that we are engaging under instruction
Of the young police guard that you didn't get his name.
Bob, yes. Obviously Bob.
Officer Bob.
Yeah. Because if they go no, then it's fine. But because otherwise you're premeditated. Because we've already had issues. We tell them that we're doing it.
Tell them that you're doing something. Okay.
not
Can't
go
get in
back.
trouble, I'm telling you. No worries. Dun, dun, dun.